Welcome again to the wonderful session. Today, it is a statistical day. The statistical day starts from information. The collection of information is data, and after that, we need data analysis. After the technology development, and also in many fields, data analysis is playing major role. Today, for this occasion, we are having the topic step-by-step guidance of statistical analysis. So good morning again to everyone. It is indeed a great honor and pleasure to welcome you all to the webinar on the occasion of World Statistical Day. I, myself, Assistant Professor Maithili Gaurishankar, welcoming you all to this webinar on behalf of S.S.T family. So with us, we are having Lieutenant Sargunam sir to guide us about the data analysis. Before starting the session, I am thanking the Almighty and also the organization and also Principal Dr. Purswani sir and also IQSC Coordinator Dr. Pushpu Purswani ma'am, always motivating to conduct the session like this for the benefit of the students. Now about the resource person. Lieutenant Sargunam sir having above 10 years of experience in statistics subject and also related to analysis, research work, etc. He have done many research papers and published more than 15 research papers in national and international level. He is active participant. He has an active participant in many additional responsibility in the college level and also guiding students of NSS, and also he is the associate NCC lieutenant rank officer. So welcome you, sir, on behalf of S.S.T family.
Thank you, ma'am.
And
yes,
also behalf of vice principal, teachers, and also participant students to learn about the statistics analysis in research. This program is conducting on behalf of BAF department in association with S.S.T RACC, that is Research Counseling Cell of S.S.T College. Welcome in, sir. Over to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So, a very warm good morning to and the coordinator of the and the special thanks to S.S.T College of Arts and Commerce from Mumbai for the Department of A&F and also association for inviting me for this wonderful session on behalf of World Statistics Day. And it's my immense pleasure to in sharing my all of you. So before starting the session, I just want clarify one thing, that is, whatever the knowledge that we are acquiring is not 100% correct. There is always something, right? So in statistics we say it is probability 50%, right? There is a possibility of 50% it is right, there is a possibility of 50% it is wrong. So I want all the participants, listeners, okay, please verify all the statements, and you can learn with the verified validation. So it's not that whatever you read, whatever you listen, whatever you see is true. Sometime, right, there might be any human or typographic error, so that we can verify from our end, so that we'll have some good learning. So I'm sharing my screen, and let's start straight away. Yes, my screen is visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir, visible, sir. It is in
Yeah.
the second page, introduction to questionnaire. Are you able to go to first page?
Ma'am?
It is in the second slide, sir.
Yes, ma'am. This is the first slide, introduction to questionnaire. Shall we start,
Okay.
ma'am?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah. So today, like now, I have divided this session into two parts. Like one is about the questionnaire, and about second part is about SPSS. Because if you want to know the data analysis, basically we need to learn questionnaire. Okay, why? Because questionnaire is all about what we are carrying before data analysis, or what we are supposed to concentrate before doing data analysis. If you want a good data analysis, or if you want a good result, means that your basic data collection should be good. So that I have introduction to, so let's see one by one. Right, so we have uh, design and administration steps which we have in the objectives of the survey. Number two is determine the sample group, and number three is design and write the questionnaire. Number five is administer. Six, tabulate the results. Number seven, interpret the results. Right, in eight stages, or eight significant steps that we have to carry forward in order to design and administrate a proper. So in that sense, like, let us do it, and what all the necessary do's that we have to follow, and what things we are going to. And moving on to number one, right, what is objective? Okay, so defining objective is the first and foremost part of any question. We cannot have any kind of objective, right? That is what the first statement says. The importance of a well defined objective cannot be overstated, right? You cannot have to say in a very simple manner, write in a more paragraph. It should be as like in Tamil we say Tirukural. You have to have a simple and short objective for your questionnaire. And any questionnaire that doesn't have a clear cut goal or clear cut purpose, that definitely will waste the time of respondent and all, right? So we have to keep these two things in of the questionnaire. And what will be the goal of for the sample I've given two things, right? One, to find out if people's attitude to the are objective, right. What is the attitude towards media with respect to gender? This is one objective of my study. How the work and study have to their academic success, right? For this two, I can write one paragraph, right? What will be the something like abstract I can write, like what is supposed to be gender, what is supposed to be male's thought process and all. It's need not to be written here. Objective always should written in a clear cut manner, in a precise manner, in a short manner. That's what it is. And what are all the rules that we have to follow? So rule of thumb is, if you are finding it, right, if you are not, if you're finding the questions are hard to be answered by the respondents, means that we haven't spent enough time with the questionnaire, right? That is what it says. Okay, if at all, if we clearly define the objective, definitely the questions would be in a simple format, right? That's what people says. Okay, that's what the definition says. Okay, so this is what a clear cut idea. In other words, to tell you very simply, you have fever or cold or cough, something like that. You visit hospital, you go to doctor, and you are getting medicine for that. And if at all, if that medicine is not curing your illness, then it means that doctor doesn't have a correct interaction with you, or he or she doesn't find correct not having correct conversation with you to find out like what happens exactly, or the medicine is not having right impact in your health. So in that's kind that's a thing that which we are understanding from the objective part, right? Moving on to second part. Okay, this is something very important. Okay, validity and reliability. Any questionnaire should have validity and as well as reliability. Okay, this is most important. I believe, right, all of you are very good in terms of commerce, and you are stepping into statistics. And if you want to be a good commerce background people, and definitely you need to have good knowledge in statistics. So these two is playing a major role in your commerce industry, and whatever you do in terms of analysis, and these two plays a major role in that. Okay, so whatever the question that we are designing, that must have validity and reliability. So what is validity basically? Okay, say for example, right, the intent of my question is to study the attitude of gender based attitude towards media. If my questions are does not giving me proper answer with respect to my objective, then it is not a validity one, right? So validity means is nothing but if your question is giving you what is the expected answer or what is the expected measure, then it has good validity. Okay, that's what it is given in the definition. The validity of a questionnaire is determined by analyzing whether the questionnaire measures what is the intended measure. Okay, that's what I've told you, right? If at all, if the question gives you what you expect, then it has good validity. And let us go to reliability. Reliability, it is something which is different from validity. If at all, if you have validity, definitely reliability will occur. Okay, how? If you have a good questionnaire, if you ask to a person, he'll give you an answer. Okay, if you ask the question to same person to some time, the same question, then he will also have same kind of answer. So this is called reliability. Okay, if the question gives you same answer even if you have a multiple trial, then it is called as reliability. Okay, right, that's what it is given there. Reliability considers the extent to which the question is survey consistently provide the same results each time, even it is asked in different situation on repeated occasion, right? So this is what it clearly says that what is validity and what is reliability. So each questionnaire or each person who is doing project by using statistics definitely must ensure your questionnaire has validity and reliability. Okay, moving on to next. What are all the question choices that we have? Okay, so we have yeah, I'm pretty much sure this is good. So how to write a questions? Okay, that's what the next one. And basically there are two kind of questions that we have: open ended and forced end or forced choices. Okay, to say in a meaningful manner or to say like how you can understand, open ended choice questions are basically like fill in the blanks. Forced choice questions are something like by which they choose. It is a multiple choice question. These are two questions you can ask in a questionnaire. Okay, how to ask, that's the next thing that we are going to see. What do you mean by two choice question? Okay, two choice question is nothing but, right, are you happy with the session? Somebody will say yes, somebody will say no. Or this is what two choice question, right? The question or the respondent will have only two options to answer is called two choice question. That is yes or no type. Okay, and being a commerce student, right, being a market research student, and it is always suggested or advised that you can have this yes or no type question in a minimal manner. Okay, because Your intent being a commerce student, to understand the behavior of a customer, right? And if that is the case, you have to avoid two choice question, okay? If you want to really address the customer behavior, so you can use only minimal manner of two choice question, okay? That's what my suggestion for this study. And there are some examples are given where our facilities are, yes, clean. Was your server is courteous? Yes, no. These are all the some of the things that which is given there. And next is, what do you mean multiple choice question? Okay, as I told you earlier, the number one option will be two choice question. Number two option will be multiple choice question. So why we are asking people to use multiple choice question? Because the moment when we use multiple choice question, people give more answers, right? People prefer more choice of answers. So then we'll be able to understand how people are, how people's are, behavior are there, and what all the course of actions is available to them. And this is what multiple choice question. And and sample question is also given. What is your primary intended use of this product? Number one, biking, hiking. Number two, camping. Number three, fishing. And number four, hunting. Okay. And number five is other. Okay. These are all things which is given. And always, here I'll give you a suggestion. As like earlier, right? Earlier I have given you a suggestion. Like you can use minimal number of yes or no type question. And similarly, for multiple choice question, my suggestion would be you can use maximum of 5 scaling for this. Okay, we'll see what is scaling in the second part of this session. But what do you mean by 5 scaling? To say in a simple words, scaling is nothing but number of choice. Okay, number of multiple choice that you are giving. Here I have given 5 choices, right? So A, B, C, D, E, that is hiking, camping, fishing, hunting, and others. Okay, because generally, normally people's behavior or psychology to go and read maximum of 5 options, because if you keep more option, they might have a difficulty, or they might have a good, they might not have feeling good to go and read all the 10 options and to select all the 10 or any one of the 10. Okay, so generally precisely you give purposely whatever you want into 5 options. That's the good practice of keeping good questionnaire. Rating a scaling question, this is very important. These type of questions are will be very much useful for your commerce background students. So what do you mean by rating scale, right? These type of questions shall be used whenever you want to rate a particular product, whenever you want to rate a particular thing. Maybe at the end of the session you will be given a feedback to post, like how the resource person have spoken, how the resource person knowledge, and how the session is organized, what is the internet availability and all. You may give a rating accordingly: excellent, good, average, fair, poor, not satisfactory, something like that, right? So you will have rating. Okay, and here you will have order. So excellent is number one order, good is number two order, average is number three order, fair and poor is the last order accordingly. So this rating scale can be used whenever you want to rate a particular product, whenever you want the particular respondents to rate products. So generally in commerce background, like we assess a lot of customer behavior. Like if a new product launch, we'll ask what is the feedback of the customer. Those kind of situation, we can use these kind of rating question to assess the customers behavior, right? And moving on to next, it is agreement kind of question, right? So these type of questions are used majorly by for the purpose of uh, behavioral aspects study. Okay, whenever you want to the respondent to agree uh, the statement or disagree statement, then you can use these kind of questions, right? That is, this is also similar kind of rating scale, but then here it is given in order, but in terms of agreement, right? So previously it is given in the same in order, but in terms of rating. So previously it is excellent, good, average, something like that. And here it is given strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree. Okay. So this is how, we are just, focusing on. Okay. So these things are placed a major role, into your questionnaire designing, and you have to be cautious, in questionnaire designing. And example is also given. I'm extremely health conscious. Okay. You can say that yes, strongly agree. You can say that agree. You can say that neutral, and you can say that no, disagree. And somebody says that yes, I strongly disagree this, statement. So these types of questions shall be asked, in terms of questionnaire. Okay. Yeah. Okay, make sure that here, like I'll have given you one suggestion, and the bottom line, right? The bottom line says that very clearly. When you use this type of question, use full word, right? Okay. Instead of giving, essay, is instead of giving essay, that is strongly agree, instead of giving full topic, so the respondents may understand it very clearly. Okay, that's the purpose of giving, full words for the, questions. Okay, for any question, right? Because if you want to have a good response, if you want to have reliable answers to you, then your questioner must have a good proper exposure to the respondent. If at all, if respondent is giving good respect to your questionnaire, then only you will get good results or good data. Okay, what are all the guidelines that, we have for writing questionnaire? Number one, each question should be clearly written and as brief as possible. Okay, this is the number one, itinerary that we have to follow. Okay, if at all, if the sentence are not clear, if it is not properly phrased in English, then again it is a problem for us. And then use the same rating and ranking question for all similar question, right? Do not have more, mixed kind of question, right? Please do have some good objectives, and based on your objective you design your question accordingly. Okay, in the second part of the session I'll tell you, like, how to choose, how to shoot, question, like, people generally what they do, they want, tools to be used. They want t-test, they want f-test to be used, they want ANOVA, they want correlation, they want regression, they want logistic regression, but they failed in questionnaire itself because SPSS or SysTat or R program is a kind of software, right? So any number if you give into the system or a calculator, the calculator will give a result. But okay, being a statistician or being a whether the given results are correct according to the data. Okay, so that is why we have to be very cautious and we have to be clear cut in terms of framing questionnaire. Okay, each test, okay, t-test, it has some attributes, it has some characteristics, so it has something to do with that. Okay, so while framing questionnaire itself, you have to have some kind of question for that. So similarly, chi-square, you have to have some questions, for that. Okay, so like this, while framing questionnaire itself, you have to have a, thought process that what is the, data analysis that you're going to use so that, frame questions accordingly. Okay, and next will be, do not ask leading questions or suggest answer, right? At the end of the questionnaire, we'll be, giving suggestions kind of thing. Okay, that is okay. It's good that, we'll have some suggestions, but it should not have be, a more brief and, broad one. Make it a simple one and precise one. Okay, and avoid question that requires the respondents to guess the meaning of your question. Okay, it means that, okay, like, you need to keep the respondent always in a balanced manner in order to answer your question, right? Don't, make them to guess like what you're expecting. If that is the case, then they'll always select the answer which you want, right? Our intent is to get the result or get the answer which is closely related to what we are expecting, but is also it is to be true and true behavior of the particular respondent. Otherwise, everybody will select the answer which is apt to the question. And in psychology we say that, in psychological term we say it is a forged answers, or it is a it is a cooked data, in other words we say. Okay. And always have a pre-test to your questionnaire, or in other words, to say that you do please pilot questionnaire. Okay. So it is good to have a pre-test, because when we have a questionnaire, we know that it is designed by me. So I'll have 100% confidence in me, saying that questionnaire, I have done all things, I have given all the and 100% effort in terms of designing the questionnaire. But if it is inspected by others, if it is tested by others, there might be some suggestions or inputs which is given by people. So there is always good to have a pre-test for a questionnaire. Okay. Now this is the session one, in which we are going through, and this is the part one, that session that we have. And now we are moving to part two of the session. I believe whatever questions that you have, please pass it through your respective coordinator, so that I'll answer all your questions in terms of framing questionnaire. And as well as the part two that we are going to see now is all about statistics. Okay.
Sir, you can
So,
continue. So the the session is going good. Everyone getting the clear idea. You can continue, sir.
ma'am,
No
it's
question
audible, ma'am.
answer.
It's not audible, ma'am.
Audible, sir. Continue, sir. No questions are there.
Okay,
The
ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
session is
Okay.
very clear.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
So now we are moving to the part two of session. That is SPSS, right? So the data analysis. This is very much more important for the day, and uh, statistical package for social science is the name and abbreviation for that. Okay. So moving on. A small introduction. Everybody knows this very well. And earlierly we called it a statistical package for social science. And now it has been transformed to another sense, statistical product and service solution. This is the term which generally people nowadays using. Okay. So what is this statistical package for social science, or statistical product and service solution does for us? Okay. It is one of the most popular statistical package which is used by many people to analyze high complex data, and also getting the results from this. Okay. And this is more precisely used by people like social science background, medical background, the commerce people, and also statistics, statisticians, and also to the end some mathematicians also use this. Okay. Now we are moving into software part. There is always, right, this is the exact picture of SPSS window. Okay. There are two views that we will have. One is variable view. Okay. And the other one is data view, that I'll show you separately. So first let us see what is variable view. Okay. Anytime when you start an SPSS, you will have this window, an empty window in front of you, and you need to define variables in your first column, that is called name column. Okay. So whatever variable that you have created in questionnaire, that you have to enter here, and so that it will create variables accordingly. Okay. So in terms of questionnaire, basically always try to avoid asking name of the respondent. Okay. Do not ask name of the respondent. Okay, this is which is more importantly that we need, because we are not going to do anything with name. So you can ask gender, age, qualification, income, something like that, which is related to your questionnaire, right? So if you create a questionnaire here, I mean questions here, then what happens? You can enter your data in the second half, that is a data view. Okay, so in the screen, right, the bottom you have variable view and data view. Okay, in the variable view you enter all your questions and you create your questions in the variable view. Okay, okay, right. So first, name means, like, a short meaning of your question. Okay, say for example here gender we have. Okay, so in questionnaire you might have asked what is your gender. You cannot type the full question here. Okay, because SPSS will allow only to type one word. Okay, it will not accept the space. Okay, so type gender here. So in that section type, right, second part, okay, you have to select numeric. SPSS will accept only numeric data. Okay, it will not accept space. If you give space in between a word, it will not accept. Okay, for that you can use labels. If you want to give alphabet labeling to a number, then you can use labels for that. Okay, so generally gender, there are two three types, that is male, female, and transgender. So you can have your value labels here so that you can type it accordingly. So regarding the scaling measures, the next slide will tell you like what is scales and how to decide the scales for respective questions. Okay, so these are all the primarily we need to learn, that is data view and variable view. Okay, so this is the data which I have typed, just sample. So I have given a names of students and also gender, their age, and then qualifications and income as a sample manner. Okay, so this is the first part that we have seen. Next, scale of measurement, right? There are four types of scale of measurement which we have in terms of statistics, and they are called as nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, and ratio scale. Okay, so when to use this nominal scale, that is the first question arise in my mind being a student. Okay, so whenever you have a data which reflects the attributes, which reflects the characteristics of a particular data, then you can use nominal scale, right? So that's the thing, right? If you want to define a group or if you want to define a classes, then you can use nominal scale, right? And then if you go for ordinal scale, right, what is that? Earlier we have seen, right, excellent, that, right? That's what it does. Ordinal scale is whenever you have a data of kind, ordering, right, good, bad, very bad, you can use ordinal scale. Okay. uh, and whenever you want to have this interval scale, uh, you know you can use, right, like situation where in which you have like temperatures, situation where in which you have salary of any group of people, and situation where in which you have a percentage of mark, and situation where in which you have percentage of chances. All this comes under the last two scales of interval and ratio scales. These are all the four scaling methods that we have for us, which is most importantly to be used in questionnaire, and the same also used in in SPSS. Okay, now we are getting into the basic data analysis of SPSS. What are all the basic tools that we have and how to use that in SPSS. So we'll start with descriptive statistics. Okay, so what is the use of descriptive statistics? First of all, okay, first we need to know whatever the data enter is having any miss values or incomplete values, so that we can find it out with the help of descriptive statistics. Okay, there are different types of descriptives that we have. First, we'll start with frequencies. Okay, how to do that? So go to, after completing variable entering and after completing data entering process, you can go to analysis. From the analysis part, you can go to descriptive, and from the descriptive you can go to frequency. Okay, if you click, then you will get this result. Okay, so you will get the result along with the diagram in which you want. So here you can say that there are 474 entries in your questionnaire, and how many male and how many females are there, and what is the percentage of them. Okay, this is the just a basic analysis, or not even analysis, this is the basic data kind of things. Okay, so I'll share this step by step procedure all to all of you through your coordinator, and I'll share this at the end of the session. And now we are moving to the next part, descriptive statistics. Okay, earlier we have seen frequencies. Now we are seeing what is can be analyzed with the help of descriptive statistics. Okay, so when you click the descriptive, right, so here you can see analyze, descriptive, and second one you can see descriptives. Okay, when you click this window will appear. Okay, so whatever you want in terms of mean, if you want to find out, you can click. If you want to find out sum, you can click standard deviation, variation, range, maximum, minimum, standard error of mean, it is possible to find out, kurtosis, skewness. Okay, so all these things can be clicked according to the necessity of the user, and then click continue to get your results. Okay, so this is your result at the end. So based on that question this is given, so we found what is the number, that is what is the what is the max, and what is the standard deviation, what is the variance, and similarly kurtosis is also given in the output. Okay, so this is the basic statistics which we are having in terms of, it's a basic tool in SPSS. And now moving forward to next one. So we have graphs generally, right? Graph is a main thing which is used by any statisticians or anybody using statistics in order to understand the data. Okay, there are four types of graph which is basically used by people who use data analysis, right? Simple bar diagram, multiple bar diagram, stacked bar diagram, and also pie diagram. Okay, now let's see one by one what all these and how to use this, and also I'm going to give you what all the situation in which you have to use simple bar diagram. Okay, I'm pretty much sure that no books, right, so far according to my knowledge, no books is giving you this particular input, right? When to use simple bar diagram, where to use multiple bar diagram, what is situation used to know to use stacked bar diagram, those kind of input is not given, not available in any books. So just which is given here is a knowledge which I have. Number one, how to use simple bar chart or bar diagram in the SPSS. Okay, so now after entering the data, please go to graph, and then you can find two things, right? Chart builder and also legacy box dialog. Okay, you can click legacy dialogs, under which you can find out bar. So click on that, and then you can find out this dialog box. So first there are three charts, as I told you. Simple cluster is nothing but multiple bar diagram. Stacked bar diagram is also nothing but subdivided bar diagram. Okay, so click on simple bar diagram, and then you have three cases. Okay, for simple bar diagram, we are going to use summary of group cases. Okay, summary of group cases. So that click on summary of group cases, and then you have to click define. After clicking define, you will get this particular window. So whatever you want, you can drag it to the particular window. Okay, so I have dragged the mean and also the age of particular person, name of the particular students. So this is the data of students name, where in which we have marks of their different semesters. So after clicking OK, I'll be getting the results like this. So this is what simple bar diagram. Okay, so each bar represents average mark of the particular students. So now the hint, the clue which I told you, right? So when to use simple bar diagram, which is most important to know, because like whenever we are going for exam, we may we may struggle, like but we'll know that it is a diagram, but then we don't know what is a diagram to be constructed. So in that case, what to do? We have to use this logic. Okay, simple bar diagram, right? Simple bar diagram will allow only us to use only one variable. Okay, so here I've used average. I have pictorially represent the average of marks of the students. Okay, so it allows us to examine only one phase. Okay, you can't have examining two variables here. So simple bar diagram can be used when we have only one main variable. Okay, and then now it turns to multiple bar diagram or multiple bar chart. In SPSS, it is termed as clustered bar chart. Okay, how to do that? Similarly, same. You have to go to graph and then legacy dialogues. Similarly, go to bar and then find out, you will have this box under which you can click cluster, and then you can go for summary of group cases, and then you will have the screen. Okay, similarly, you can drag all the semester 1 2 3 to this place and the name into category axis, and finally click OK to get the output. Okay, so this is your final output for the day. Okay, just a minute. Yes, getting back to the session. Okay, so this is the output for multiple bar diagram. Okay, so multiple bar diagram, when to use multiple bar diagram, again that is also one important question that we have. So in the data you can see, like we have three different marks for the students. Okay, if you have more variables to compare, then multiple bar diagrams are very much useful to to pictorially represent the data. Okay, this is the second phase of the diagram. And now moving on to third, the stacked bar diagram, or in other words it is called as subdivided bar diagram. Okay, and again same, click on graph, go to legacy dialog, you can find out bar, and then you can click stacked, and then the final one you can click value of individual cases, then click define. You will get this box. Okay, and you can use the variables semester 1 and semester 2 and the name, which I have used as an example. Okay, and then finally you will get this particular output. Again, this important one, when to use subdivided bar diagram. Okay, which is very important. Okay, when you have variables which is to be compared within the bandwidth, we can say, like for example, I want to compare my revenue of this year to previous year, then I can use multiple bar sorry, subdivided bar diagram. Okay, if I want to compare my revenue with my friend's revenue, then I have to use multiple bar diagram. Okay, if you want to compare between people, then you have to use multiple bar diagram. If you want to compare within the the variable, then you have to use subdivided bar diagram. Okay, these are all the things that which we have in terms of subdivided bar diagram. Okay, then moving on to the basic test which we have, a t-test. Okay, which is very basically which we are using in terms of analysis. There are three types of t-test: one sample t-test, independent sample t-test, and paired sample t-test. Okay, first I'll tell you the logic how the questions has to be, and then we'll go to spaces like how we have to frame and how we can do it accordingly. So one sample t-test, it can be used when you want to test the any mean variance of particular variable, and it is applicable only for one variable which you want to assess. Okay. And then if you want to use independent sample t-test, okay, if you want to use independent sample t-test, again you have to have suitable questions in the t-test. Okay. And then if you want to have paired sample t-test, again for both these cases you have to have suitable questions in the questionnaire. சரிங்களா? I mean it, right? So in that sense, right, for independent sample t-test, you must have a term called before and after. Okay. Before and after term you have to follow. And what do you mean by before and after? For example, for a questionnaire, what is the, basically I believe that all commerce students are undergoing, and I believe that you would have gone for typewriting exam. And basically you will go for typewriting class. Okay. And you will be writing typewriting exam. So there is an additional skill coaching for typewriting, maybe shortcuts, kind of things. So what is that? There is a training it's given to your class. Before the training, what is your class performance, and after the training, what is your class performance? Okay, this is goes into independent sample test, which is most important. Okay, so these things it has to be done in questionnaire itself. Then only it is possible to use independent sample test in the SPSS, or you can choose a tool. How to use it? So first, go to SPSS, click analyze, go to compare means, click one sample t-test, then you will find this dialog box. Okay. So drag the variable which you want to test variable, and also give the test value. Okay. Okay. Here you will have a value which is to be defined by the respondent. Okay. What do you mean by test value? The test value says that the average or the comparison value which you are giving. Okay. For my study, I am testing the lifetime of bulbs. Okay. The average lifetime which I have taken is 25, so that it is given accordingly. So you can decide the test value according to your problem or according to your cases. And once if you click okay, then you will get this output. Okay. So how to conclude it here? There are two values which is given. Okay. There are two tables. First, one sample statistics table and one sample test table. No, let's not bother about this table because it's just for formality purpose. This is the important table which you have to keep it in your output or in your results. Okay. And it is run for 95% confidence interval. Okay. There are two values which is given. One is t test t value, another one is significant two-tailed value. Okay. So there are possibilities to draw inference or results be based on these two. Okay. So if you want to compare with the table value, you can use t value. If you want to compare with the significant confidence interval, then you can use significant two-tailed value. Okay. So it is possible to draw the conclusion with both of these two values, and the results will be same when you are using these two. Okay. So make sure that according to your project purpose or according to your need, like whichever the way you want to follow, you can follow accordingly. And now we are moving to independent sample t-test. Okay. So this is again same analysis, compare means, and go to independent sample t-test, and you can drag the variable, the test variable which you want to test to test variable, and then finally define the groups. Okay. So what is here, how to define groups? For independent sample t-test, you will have two groups. Okay. That is group 1 and group 2, which you have to define here. And then finally, if you click okay, then you will have this output. Okay. So I have taken keyboard, right? So what is the performance of keyboard A and keyboard B? So which I have given used for this particular test, and which is resulted here. Okay. The same case, I have significant value and t value. Based on this, I can draw the results. Okay. right? It means that you have a great freedom to decide your results and according to the results which is given in the tabular column. And last, we have part it is, as I told you earlier, this particular part is that it must be, the questions must be designed in questionnaire itself, so that it is possible to use it in the SPSS. That is, in the questionnaire itself, SPSS par means, and go to paired sample t test, and then drag the variable before and after to the test variable, and then click OK. Then finally you will get this result. Similarly, from the result table you find 3 tables. So we are going to use third table only. So where in which you have t value and significant two-tailed value. Okay, these are all the 2 things that we have. So based on these 2, whichever you want to use, if you want to compare with table value, you can use t value as a base, and if you want to compare with alpha value, that is 0.05, and you can take significant two-tailed value by which you can draw result. And next one we have is one-way ANOVA, and this is also another basic in SPSS, or in terms of data analysis. Okay, so when to use this ANOVA? First thing, let us learn that. Whenever so far we have encountered single variable, double variable in terms of data analysis. If in case if you have more variables to analyze, right, then you have to use one-way ANOVA as a matter of fact, as a tool of statistics. Okay, how to use this ANOVA is very much precise. You have to enter the data. Okay, you will have 4 groups. Okay, say for example, the sales of 3 different city of some X company. Okay, so you will have a sales of all these 3 companies data. You have to enter all this data accordingly, and then you have to have group. Okay, city 1 will be group 1, city 2 will be in group 2, city 3 will be in group 4. Okay, so then go to analyze, compare means one-way ANOVA, and then finally you will get this dialog box. So test variable to be dragged to dependent list, and then you can click drag the factor into factor variable, and then finally you click OK to get your ANOVA output. Okay, again this table says that there are 2 possible to uh, by the help of significant value you can draw the conclusions. Okay, so this is how ANOVA to be performed. And the next tool that we are going to use okay, so these are all the tools that which we have encountered so far as some basic tools, and I strongly suggest all of you that whenever you do analysis in terms of t-test, analysis in terms of one-way ANOVA, make sure that you have data without any kind of missing values. Okay, because when you perform data, if you have missing values in your data, then your results always, in terms of project I'm just talking about, so your result will carry missing values in it, from which you will be questioned by evaluators, like why it is missing value, what is the cases it is kept missing. So try to find out or try to interact with the respondent to have the exact data or accurate data, whichever which is feasible, and whichever which you require. Okay, that's the most important thing that we have to do in terms of analysis. So in the second part of session, we have seen number 1 is descriptive statistics, number 2 is simple bar graph, and that is 3 types of bar diagram, and number 3 is analysis, right? Basic analysis like t-test, like we have one sample t-test, paired sample t-test, independent sample t-test, and also the other one is one-way ANOVA. These are all the sort of tests that we have in terms of SPSS as a basic tool that we are using for uh, for commerce background people in terms of statistical analysis. Okay, and I believe that this step by step explanation would have some kind of impact on you in terms of some knowledge sharing, evidence. So I'll share all this details through your coordinator. And as I told you in session 1, as I told you in session 1, please always have a good questionnaire, because questionnaire makes everything. Okay. Many of the researchers, many of the students, even sometime during my study undergraduate, I also did the same mistake. Many of the student and researchers does this mistake, that is, they frame questionnaire without having, or without thinking that the tools in mind. And they, finally, they are, fighting with tools, that what tools to be used. I'm still telling you that tools are like calculators, that is, SPSS and R program, SPSS, SAS, whatever the tool that we are using, it is like calculator, right? A machine calculator. Whatever the number you give into system, that system will give you some results. Okay. But whether the result is correct or not is a key factor to decide. Okay. That is, so I have cold, I have headache, should I have any tablet? Yes, you need to have a tablet, but then what tablet to be given for that particular illness is so precisely found out, right? So that's the main important work of any statistician or people who have statistics knowledge. Okay. So that's the thing which you have to keep in mind. And for this 1 hour, I believe that this content would be highly sufficient to have a basic knowledge into this statistics, basic data analysis. And I'm again and again telling you, please pay your attention towards questionnaire before getting into data analysis, because there is 3 phases. One is having good statistical knowledge. Number 2, with the help of statistical knowledge, you have good questionnaire. And number 3, you have how to use SPSS is also there. The SPSS is a calculator, right? You can use it with any kind of any time, you can learn it. But then questionnaire knowledge and statistical knowledge have to be learned well advanced. Then only it is possible to execute SPSS. So I believe that I've shared my experience or the knowledge whichever that I have so far, that I have learned into. And if you have any questions, you can share through your coordinator, so that I'll try to address the questions uh, which is being posted there.
Yes, sir. It was a wonderful session, sir. It was a immense pleasure to have you, sir, on the occasion of Statistical Day, the statistical expert like you, guiding us step by step about the data analysis. Not only that, the guidance for making the questionnaires. Sir, two questions are there. Is there online SPSS available software?
Ma'am, I believe that your question is space is available in online.
Okay, sir.
uh,
We want
See,
to log in and use.
there is, according to my knowledge, there is no SPSS is available which is to be used online version, wherein
Okay,
which you can download pirated version of SPSS softwares, which is available in a lot of websites.
okay,
I'll share all that website links to you, ma'am. You can
okay,
download SPSS from that, but then SPSS to be installed in the system, and then you can use it. There are a lot of versions which we have, 16, 17, 19,
okay,
and all we have. And precisely we have in our college we are using IBM SPSS, and I'll give you that pirated version as well. You can use that as well. IBM SPSS will give us more support in terms of suggestion, because the version like 16, 17 are given only the input of the data. But IBM 19 SPSS, they will give something which is more than like some additional suggestions will be given by IBM SPSS statistics software, and which I will share, ma'am. Any other questions, ma'am? So at this day, right, on the day, I'm just telling you some, which is very important one. Today, AI, artificial intelligence, becomes the topmost priority in the world. I recommend all the students, right, please have a good knowledge in AI. Okay, because the next world, right, the future world is going to be ruled by AI. It is going to function with AI. So we should not compete with AI, right? Because AI is something bigger than us. Okay. So if you compete with AI, definitely you will not win. You will lose. But then if you compete with the knowledge of AI, definitely you will be the top person in the world. So I suggest people, the students, because basically being a commerce student, you will have to do a lot of market research. So in today's world, to do market research by Googling, it is not that much easy, right? So by doing market research by Googling, it is very difficult to do that. So I suggest all of you to use chat gpt, and a lot of other AI tools are there. Okay, by which you can use you can do market research. That is very helpful for all of you do a lot of, because in project probably I believe that you will have introduction part, you will have review of literature, you will have findings and suggestions to go for it, for which you have to refer a lot of books, journals, e-source content. If you Google it, definitely you needed to do a lot of work. For example, recently we did a workshop on AI tools, effective AI tools for teachers and students, so as to do data analysis or market research. And many of us doesn't believe that whatever that being a research person doing for 10 days, this AI is doing for within a 10 minutes, right? So there are a lot of tools available in AI which will be customize your work. I'll try to share that information with your ma'am, so please try to use that. If you want demo, that I'll we have a resource person that will help you that as well. Please use that. Please use more AI apps. There are a lot of applications available which is basically based on AI, which does the job in seconds. Okay, so definitely that will be very much useful for all of you. And hoping for that, for better usage. So on this day,
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot.
on this wonderful day, World Statistical Day, thank you for inviting me to the session, and I thank the management of S.S.T College of Arts and Commerce, especially the Department of Commerce, Department of Commerce, specifically to become A&F stream, for inviting me this session, national level webinar on data analysis, step by step introduction to data analysis. And special thanks to Professor Maithili Gaurishankar ma'am, and to the principal, management, and all the higher authorities of SST College. And thank you for having me with your session. And it's always having a privilege to have interacting with the students. And definitely, being a student with the knowledge of statistics, definitely you will have a great future. And good luck to all your career. And as I told you, please use more AI apps. That definitely will reduce a lot of your works, and you will find a lot of stuffs there. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
management committee and all the members, for providing me the platform to share my knowledge.
Thank
You
you, sir.
all.
Sir, with your permission, shall I go for a vote of thanks?
Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Sir, before going to vote of thanks, I am here happy to say that we are motivating students to participate in Aviskar Research Convention. It happens
Ma'am,
in
I
Mumbai.
couldn't hear the questions properly, ma'am.
It is not question, sir. I am giving vote of thanks, sir.
Please, please, ma'am, please, ma'am, please, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So, Aviskar convention conducting by Mumbai University, we are motivating the students with the help of SST RAC, that is a research and counseling cell. So for that, the many idea was given to students, and also for the TY students, this is the next STEM they are going to give the project. Also, the topic we have chosen will be very helpful for getting the idea of questionnaire and also statistical tools shared by SAR. So, SAR covered some of the main topic like questionnaire, in that designing and administrating, validating and reliability, how to write the question, many tips, and also SPSS introduction, scale of measurement, different types where we want to use, and also types of diagrams, and also finally using test for the collection of primary data. So this is my indeed and great pleasure to give a vote of thanks for this session. On the occasion of Statistical Day, it is our immense pleasure to have a gathering here online to have and share the knowledge of experienced person like Assistant Professor Sargurunathan sir, to have the talk in statistical data analysis. First of all, I am giving glory to the Almighty God for making today's session great success. Second, I am grateful to the management team of SST, Dr. Puruswani sir, Dr. Puspu Puruswani ma'am, and also all the vice principal, faculty members, teaching and non-teaching staffs, and also technical person to make this occasion great success and also memorable day with the great knowledge. Thank you, sir. Thanks to be with us. Thank you, sir. Participants are requested to fill the feedback form. You will get the certificate within 5 to 7 days. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.